Top 15 matchup in Norman, Oklahoma came down to this play. 6 seconds left to go in an 8-point game. John Mateer from midfield on 3rd and 10. Need to have it. Didn't get it. And Ole Miss, first road win against an AP-ranked SEC opponent under Lane Kiffin. Rebels catching all the points. They cashed the money line at plus 150 or so, and the over of 52.5 also cashes on this noon slate. Back here with the crew to tackle this top 15 matchup. B-Mac, what stood out to you in terms of the Rebels and the Sooners today?
Their ability to not screw it up.
Right on.
Talk about the Rebels?
Yeah, the Rebels. They screwed it up last week. And that's why I think this is the biggest win for Lane Kiffin in his career there with the Rebels, because up until this point, he was over in these moments playing on the road against an AP-ranked team, correct? He's never beaten a ranked team on the road. So for him to exercise those demons and find a way to finish this game compared to what they did not do last week. Remember, they had a double-digit lead against UGA on the road, and they squandered that opportunity. Today, he found a way. Shots out to Trinidad Chambliss. He played high-level football. He made timely plays in not the most ideal conditions. He made plays with his legs. Even though us as a staff here watching, we had some concerns about Lane Kiffin's decision-making ability in the red zone, but his team made plays and his defense bowled their back, and they came up with the necessary stops to be able to potentially, as we see it today, they stamped their ticket into the playoffs. Now, granted, a lot of football left to be played, but this was that deciding game we needed to see from Ole Miss to be able to say, you know what, they're in. So if the season was to end today, Ole Miss would be in the playoffs for sure.
Ole Miss just punched their ticket.
Yeah.
They have South Carolina, Citadel, Florida, all at home, all in Oxford, and then a road game in Starkville in the Egg Bowl, which even that game, I think they might be able to lose because now they have a win that is a top 15 win on the road. I think a 10-2 Ole Miss team is in, and it looks like they're probably going to be 11-1. Now, if they slip up and have a surprising loss, like I said, I still think they're in the college football playoffs. That would be huge. Maybe not great news for Florida Gator fans if they're trying to get Lane Kiffin to come as soon as possible or at all to the University of Florida. But I thought this was a really resilient win, which is something Ole Miss hasn't been able to do. We were talking about last week. They had the lead in Athens and kind of gave it up late game situations. They were able to close this one out. The question I have for Oklahoma is what happened to that defense? They gave up 300 yards passing to Trinidad Chambliss. They gave up 100 yards rushing on the ground. This was supposed to be a defense which was one of the best in the SEC and the best in the country. And they got carved up pretty good by Ole Miss, even after Lane Kiffin had put Brent Venables kind of on blast and said, oh, they got signals and taking those shots at him. It just was not a great performance for Oklahoma's defense. And John Mateer, I thought, struggled in a lot of situations, especially late game, with an opportunity to be a hero, missed some passes, some poor decision-making. Just a rough day for the Sooners.
You mentioned how that's probably locking them into the playoff. We give it an 87% chance, which is probably as close as a lock we're going to give you at this point in the season. We do still like Georgia and Bama to be in the SEC championship from the Sportsline model, but we do love Ole Miss at a 10-2 record to 100% make the college football playoff. Obviously, that win today gives them so much more breathing room. The rest of that schedule, again, now they can lose at Mississippi State if they really want to screw around and find out, but I do not think that's going to be the case. But poor Oklahoma, man, because this was definitely a necessary win. They go down to 5% chance.
Their schedule, the rest of the way,
is ugly.
Right, and that's tough. The thing. Like I thought the world of this Oklahoma team, and we had them power ranked so high. It's just the fact that the schedule that they have. I mean, you have to finish out against 4 top 25 teams. Even if they had won this game today, we would have them going from a 20% chance to make the playoff to only a 30 because we're still aware of what the rest of that schedule is going to look like. So this solidified the elimination, but golly, even if they won today, that last 4 is still tough.
Well, if Oklahoma can get to 10-2 with back-to-back wins on the road, then Missouri and LSU to round things up, they'll have earned it.
They'll have earned it.
Oklahoma's done.
Okay.
I just don't think they're that good. That's the problem is I don't see them beating Bama on the road. I don't even think they'll beat Tennessee on the road. So I just think they're going to be probably 9-3 at best, and I don't think it's going to be good enough.
And to Danny's point, you look at the next few ball games coming up. You got Tennessee and Alabama. The quarterback is in favor of those opposing teams. Both of their quarterbacks are playing better football than John Mateer is right now. And that's why we're seeing a defect in terms of the offensive production for whatever reason. And I know people will say he's not 100% healthy, but when you step on the football field, no one cares about that. You're expected to deliver, and right now he's not delivering.
One final thought on Lane Kiffin getting that big road win for his program, first time under his watch. The Austin Simmons package, also going with Kewan Lacey on 4th and 1 from your own 15. It was games, as you mentioned, B-Mac, that he traditionally would give up and almost did today. Do you think Lane will learn from that moving forward?
Probably not. I think he understands and he wants to do it his way.
He wants to stay aggressive.
The fortunate part about those decisions, the questionable decisions, his defense bailed him out.
Yeah.
His defense. It doesn't make any sense to me, viewers, when you have a quarterback who's cooking, who is within rhythm of the offense, to remove him and bring someone who's been standing on the sideline with a clean uniform, cold as ice, to come in and throw meaningful passes in situational moments. That doesn't make any sense for me, but we probably will see it again moving forward. But luckily enough for Lane, his defense lived up and they made sure they got the necessary stops for them to win this ball game.
All right, there we go. Ole Miss rolling. Danny putting Oklahoma down in the dirt, saying that they're done, so stick a fork in them. Guys, great stuff. Conversation on that top 15 matchup in Norman. Here's a look at Lane Kiffin's career resume as a head coach. We might want to keep this around in case he goes to a different program, perhaps, and use that and highlight some of the things that he's been able to do. I'm not saying that, just it's certainly out there in the Twitterverse and social media, but a big win for Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin today.